Hi, I'm Jess Kenneally. I am the writer and co-director of The Fort. I co-directed with my sister, Carly Kenneally, who you're also seeing here. And Carl, do you want to give the people an introduction to The Fort?
The fort is about a mother that builds a fort for her son in his room. And each time they go into the fort, they go into his imagination, which gives the mum the power to leave the domestic abuse at home. When we first started making the fort, we really wanted to raise awareness about domestic violence. And it wasn't until we started researching that, this really starts from a domestic abuse level. And we really started to understand and see how these cycles are happening through generation and generation. And a lot of what we explored in the fort was how do we break that cycle so it doesn't go through to the next generation.
Okay. What inspired us to begin making The Fort and create it was our mum. She was asked to MC an event for Safe Steps, where it was holding a candlelight vigil for victims of family violence. And seeing the roll call of the names and the ages of the people who, had fallen victim to family violence, we sort of stepped back and what can we do? Where do we fit into being able to make a change? And we wanted to get a conversation happening and put a story out there that people could see what happens in these relationships, how easy it can be to fall in, and how difficult it is for people to escape these relationships as well. And we thought this is our area where we can use our expertise to tell a story and hopefully help start the conversation or continue the conversation in public to let people know it's obviously not okay. It isn't right that people aren't feeling safe in their own homes. And quite often the most vulnerable aren't able to escape. And we're hopeful that The Fort does allow people to get an insight into those relationships and, maybe make a change in their own lives or notice a change in somebody else's that they can help with.
A really cool thing to add in there as well is, when we were making this film, noticeable within the first couple of days of shooting that those conversations were already starting to happen on set, and people were talking about things that had happened, that they had seen, that they had experienced, or maybe didn't even know existed, and were realizing for the first time how serious this situation was. So it's been throughout the whole process, we've learned so much about relationships and how we can conduct ourselves to have a better society.
I hope when the audience watches The Fort, they focus on the story, the relationship in between the mother and son, and sort of where are these people going? Why is it so difficult for them to get out of this situation? And then think, does this apply to somebody I know, or does this apply to me? I think it's probably taking this story and the sort of lessons and moments from it. It might be only a moment that you notice, but if a moment in this film triggers with you about you or somebody you know, hopefully it can give you cause for thought or cause for change. And that's at the heart of it. Obviously, we want people to love and enjoy the film, but the reason why we first started filming it and making it was to cause change. So if you notice a moment, even if it's quite fleeting in the film and it resonates with you, please think why. And then if there's something you can do about it, or if for a positive reason, fantastic, that's what we want. But if there's a reason that a moment that you're like, look, that moment didn't sit well with me because I know something's happened in my life or somebody else's, maybe take a step towards changing that.
I think, for me, I think a very common question when people hear of someone in a domestic abuse relationship is, why didn't they just leave? And I really hope The Fort shines light on why it's not that simple to just leave. There are money constraints, there are family obligations, people are very trapped very often in these circumstances. And I hope The Fort shines light that it is not as simple as just being able to leave.
I mean, we're debut feature filmmakers in this, so this is our first time sort of venturing into it. Have you got any advice or tips for people and other creators wanting to step into this world or take their first big leap?
You know, I think we were expecting throughout this journey to wear many hats. I don't think we were quite expecting to wear this many hats.
Yeah.
So, you know, as long as you're continuing to learn every part of the process, I think is really key to actually getting it finished, because there are going to be times that you can't pay someone and you are going to have to do it yourself. And
you can't pay someone and you're going to have to beg them to do it out of the generosity.
Yeah. And, you know, and make your crew your family. You know, the film that we are going to make next, or the TV show, web series, ad that we make next, like, we come with a crew. You know, this could not have been done without the support of our DA production coordinators, our DPs, our, you know, set designers, runners, ACs, everyone. You know, we really became family from this, and I have a really beautiful crew to go through the next 20 years.
I am also available for individual bookings, just so everyone knows.
Yeah, we don't always have to come and see.
If there's something that I could say to aspiring creators or aspiring filmmakers, please don't get discouraged by the enormity of what you think you're going to be taking on. And you are going to be getting discouraged all the way through, but please don't stop, keep pushing through. And it is an incredible achievement to finish a film, because not many people do it. So please, throughout the whole process, don't get discouraged. And, you know, you'll be surprised how much support and love you get from those around you, even those who aren't in the industry. You know, we're so lucky every time talking to people like, how's the film going? I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. And just allow that to push and drive you on. And please make it. Whatever you want to do, please just make it and endeavor, take under every avenue you can to make it happen.
I also think going into the process, going into the process with the mindset that this is about the journey, not about the finished film, might make it a little bit easier. When, you know, we would have loved to have had The Fort come out within 18 months. And, you know, it's been 3.5 years now. And, you know, it was discouraging at times that it got set back. But, you know, it was those beautiful moments that we met a sound designer, we met our composer, we met, you know, that fitting in with people's schedules, our schedules, you know, the world apocalyptic times, you know, being adaptable to that change. And don't be hard on yourself if you miss your own personal deadline. You can push it back, and you haven't failed.
One final thing, and probably say, please watch The Fort, enjoy. I think try and come to it with an open mind if you are watching it as well. It's made by a group of people who have put their heart and soul into it, and I think it comes through in the film you watch as well. This is a film that has, you know, a heart and soul to it, and hopefully it touches you in a way that can cause some sort of change, where through your thinking, or that if, you know, you see it and you want to make change elsewhere, please do. I think it's a film that has a lot of virtue, and I hope that comes through.
So our mother, Shayna Blaze, and her business partner, Neva Morrissey, and a massive team behind the scenes have now created a charity called Voice of Change, which is about breaking the cycle and creating healthy relationships through the arts, and shining a light on the survivors who have experienced domestic violence and abuse. So Jess, how did you go making a film with your big sister?
It was quite incredible making a film with my sister, just because it would be something that you would think shouldn't work. And especially us being, you know, we are kind of chalk and cheese in a lot of our personality traits and actually how we operate. And I think we were very lucky that we worked off each other. We used each other's best qualities. It could have been very easy that our worst qualities came to the fore. I think that only happened like once. So,
on the first day.
On the first day. Our first day of filming, we may have sort of butted heads and were like, oh, what have we done?
Oh God, this is the next 3 weeks.
I know. Oh, next 3 weeks. This is taking us 3.5 years. But I think it's quite unique having a brother and sister working together, making a film and being filmmakers, co-directing. And yeah, it was. It's something that I think has sort of held us each to account a lot more throughout the film, and it's given us a better product, I think, for sure as well.
Totally. Like, I couldn't have done it without you, really, because especially being first-time filmmakers, directors, you know, we weren't able to take on all the responsibilities. So being able to divide the responsibilities and having that ability of brother and sister, we know each other really well, more than what friends would, you know.
I know you swore at me a lot more than you could at anybody else. So that probably, you know, somebody else would have been able to go, nah, this relationship's over. I didn't really have that option.
If you want to get your F count out for the day because you're so stressful, it's really good to co-direct with your brother. But I think, you know, you hit on us being chalk and cheese. And I think we are so different, which is hilarious because that totally complemented. Like, you know, I didn't really want to do the business side of things, but you are so business minded. You know, you didn't really know about post-production. I'm an editor and work in a post-production house. So, you know, there were so many yin and yang moments for us that when I didn't have the skills, it was likely that you would. And if you didn't, I made you learn them.
Yeah, it was definitely easy to be hold the other person accountable.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yes. Cool.